Yeah, yeah,
Yo, yo.
yeah.
What's the deal?
Got my boy up in the building.
You already know. You know. I got to be.
Yeah, you already know how we do, man. We started this together. I was trying to finish the breakfast.
You
You
feel
know what
me?
I mean?
Absolutely.
You've been doing a real good job of that, my brother. I'm proud
Uh,
of you. Just want to say congratulations aside from everything on all your ventures you've been doing over the years. You know what I mean? Like me and you have known each other for a long, long time. A lot of
long
people don't
time.
know that, but we've known each other for a long time, and I've seen you come from the streets to the boardroom. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to say that I'm proud of you, and a lot of people from Harlem is proud of you. You know what I mean? Everybody that I ever speak to that say your name is always speaking in good light, and I just want to let everybody in the platform know that. You know what I mean?
Nah, I appreciate that, man. For real. It's definitely been a journey. And I thank you for giving me my flowers. I feel like, like with you, I love what you've been doing with Finished Breakfast. Like, I always want you to be consistent, and it's like it's only up from here. You gotta stay at it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
man,
that's
I
a
think
fact.
what you touched on really quick is really important because when people say like from the streets to the boardroom, like that's a real thing. I'm very cognizant of like the the opportunities that I had presented in front of me and not falling victim to the streets. That's the biggest or the most important part of that. You feel me?
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
good, man. What
Yeah,
we
man.
talking
Well,
about?
I got two guests. I got you and Lamont up here today, so I need y'all to
Right,
get all this game out. So I'm just gonna get to some questions right fast, so we don't just sit here and chop it up like we normally do anyway.
right.
But I just want you to ask you like, what's some qualities as an A&R, people like yourself working with major labels and artists down to the independent labels looking for when you actually scouting the artists. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people they just out here freestyling. You know what I'm saying? So what do
Yeah,
y'all actually look for when y'all be like, yo? We see somebody that's serious, we want to really look at that.
right. So I mean, there's a lot of different like factors to that. Like for me, like I'm more into looking at a strong foundation that we could build a house on. You feel me? Like some people are looking for a house that's already built that they could just buy and sell. I'm equating that to artists. Like for the most part, like a lot of major labels, it's not that it's hard to do the work. It's just that the money is always there. It's just that it's in different places. So in order for artists to like kind of come through and be able to work within a system, you got to know how to work. Period. You know what I mean? Like you got to have a person that can handle your administrative stuff. You got to have a person that knows how to have you on time. And if you don't, like for the most part, labels try to put people in that position to help you out. But the biggest thing about artists is that you got to be a coachable player, and that's what I look for more than anything. Like it's people that want to play but they don't want to be coached.
Right. All right. All right. So besides that, like as far as the music, like as far as the numbers in game, like that, that's
Yeah.
important too.
I mean, somewhat. I mean, like, see, every artist that I've ever worked with, and everybody knows, our history. You know what I mean? And for the artists that we worked with, most of the artists that we worked with, they didn't really have, numbers and stuff behind them. I kind of built that up, but like it is important because if you can gain some attention, you don't necessarily have to have that, but if you can gain some attention, then it's like, yo, all we got to do is put some more emphasis on that and build it into a business. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that's sometimes the biggest takeaway is a lot of people don't realize that this is a business. While we do love the culture and we do, we're very passionate about it. You got to be passionate about learning the business. That's what keeps the culture going.
Right. Right. All right. All right. So you feel like a lot of artists kind of lack in that area as far as like not really understanding the business, and then they kind of want to learn it a little bit later, or they figure things out later after they put their signatures to certain things. Like far as on the label side, not like in management wise, just like far as like once they sign a deal, they
Mhm.
expect the label to do all these great things for them, and it's not realizing that both parties have to hold up their side of the bargain, right?
Not, yeah, I think like that's the problem. I think that a lot of artists like they feel like it's not easy to get signed. You know what I mean? Like people really think that it's easy to get signed. It's not really easy to get signed, but a lot of people think that like, oh, I've worked so hard just to get signed that once I get signed that now I'm on autopilot, and it doesn't
Right.
work like that. You know what I mean? It's like you work really hard, you get signed, and getting signed is like almost like getting drafted into the league. It's like you don't once you get drafted into the league, you don't stop working out. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't stop sharpening your craft, sharpening your tools. The biggest thing about it is like, when you get to the point where Now there's an investment made. You got a nice advance. You got a nice budget. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. You went and got your car, your house, your watch, all of that. Get in the studio. Don't forget that. Because if you want to maintain these things, you gotta stay working. And I think that one of the biggest things when it comes to artists is that they don't stay working enough. They feel like I made it, or okay, cool, I moved out the hood. I ain't really got to work as hard as I used to. No, you got to work even harder because now you've changed your life and the lives of others. You got to maintain that. So you got to just make sure you sharpening your tools so that you can be on point.
Okay, okay. Yep. It's a great answer, man. All right, so next question is, how do you feel about the current state of music as a whole, not just rap, but like as far as the pandemic and how it's affecting the normal nature of the business of music? For me, and that you working and you getting to see firsthand, like how it's being affected in the boardroom or in the offices. Is it changing, or is it new? Are people panicking? Are they figuring like, damn, we got to figure out a whole new business plan or business
Mm-hmm.
model?
Right. I mean, it's a little bit of both to an extent. I mean, for the most part, I work for a major label, which is Warner. You know what I mean? I work with Atlantic. I work for Asylum, which is like we're a division of like almost Atlantic. You know, and the thing about it is like, are we panicking? No, but we're being very paying attention to the moves that we make, because right now, artists can't promote the way they used to. So before, everything got on lockdown, when you're up and coming artist, managers could go into the radio station just to bring an artist to say hello to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Just to say, they might get lucky and be like, yo, you could come in, play a record or two, and then bounce. You know what I mean? But that's a big thing. You can't do that anymore. Like, I remember Hot 97, they would have like, their meetings, like their new music meetings, and you go in there, you got Ebro in there, Peter Rosenberg, you got DJ Enough, Megan Wright, Funk Flex if he's around, everybody, and they just listen to the music, and you get the opportunity to play the music. Now
right,
it's a little bit different because of COVID, because you can't, these same opportunities are not afforded to up and coming artists. They're not doing Zoom rooms where you could listen to music. You know what I'm saying?
right, right,
For up
right.
and coming artists. So the thing is that it has affected people. It's affected the business when it comes to breaking artists. But I think that's where the creative comes in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
You
gotta,
can't get that in person. You can't really get that
yeah,
feel of what a person is, right?
you can't get the in-person interactions anymore, but I mean, you can still do stuff that's going to excite people, and that's why I think that, a lot of people, they downplay social media and say, oh, you can't do this and do that. Like, if you really pay attention to social media is everything in a form of business, because a social media page is basically like a television station. You could come there every day for new content. So if you're an artist and you rap and you know that it takes a little bit more than just your bars, it might just be your fashion. It might just be your lifestyle with certain things. You can display it how you want to on your socials. And I think that, creativity is what it takes to really spark the mind. So, it has affected the game, but it's still pretty much the same a bit. The only thing that I'm really affected by is like, you can't get the live experiences anymore like you used
Right,
to.
right. Well, like so, like with all of this, artists are still being recruited to labels and still being picked up and signed. Like
What?
they still picking up traction online and stuff. Like so, there's
What,
no
man?
excuse, right?
People,
Because some people have make excuses saying, "Oh, the industry shut down. I can't get no." Nah, it's people
nah,
still being signed, people still working hard, and people still streaming and running numbers up, right?
bro, let me tell you something. So I always equate, the reason why we named the company Triangle Offense is because we equate it to sports a lot. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, with kids, you think about, you look at a star athlete, a basketball player. I'm pretty sure Kevin Durant can tell you by the time he was 10 years old, he had scouts looking at him. You know what I'm saying? Just watching for the potential, watching the potential grow, watching it develop. It's the same thing with music. It's like, it's a lot of artists that's putting out music every day, and they might only have like 2,000 views or 2,500 views on a video that they posted and 150 likes, but it's A&R's watching, and they looking to see what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they really looking to see what's going to happen. Artists are getting signed every day. There's artists who are getting signed to new deals every single day. And another thing is like, when it comes to independence, and I'm pretty sure you got something in there when we're going to talk about independence, a lot of these artists are signed. Don't be fooled about this whole little fake independent gaffle that a lot of artists is running on people, where they saying, oh, I own this, I don't own that. A lot of people got partners. You feel me?
Right. All right. Yeah, I hope y'all getting some good game from Wayno right now, man. He dropping it on y'all right now. He dropping that heat. You
Trying
know what
to,
I'm saying? I
man.
told you I was gonna bring some value to y'all, give y'all some insight, because that's the whole thing. You know, a lot of people I see, you know, I want people who don't really know, because where we from, it's easy to get kind of next to people sometimes, and even when they're next to people, people don't really be still learning a lot about the business. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes
Right,
people still get misconceptions, like, oh, they see the pictures or they see clubs or they see certain things, and they just be like, yo, I want to be a part of that, but not
right,
realizing that, you know what I'm saying, that this is a real business, and I just really wanted to expose people to understand, like, yo, just have your business right. Like, have your fun. Nobody's saying don't have no fun or you can't do
facts,
the other things that rappers do. Nobody's trying to tell you none of that.
right.
But I just wanted to give some exposure that, yo, make sure you got your business straight. That's it.
Yeah,
And
and
when
I
your
mean,
business is straight, it makes
mhm.
you feel better, and it makes everybody feel better, and it keeps you confident in what you got going. You don't have to worry about what's going on behind your back because you're in the loop. You
I
know what I
think
mean?
the biggest misconception about music business when it's somebody, and I can only speak specifically from a person coming from the hood, because we from the hood for real. Um, the biggest misconception is that this is some sort of game, that it's not serious. It's like companies are just throwing money away every day. It's and that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like when a person wants to, it's no different than if you were to go to Target and apply to get a job. You know what I mean? Or you would go to Costco, or you would go sign up for the city and get a job. It's very serious. So the thing about it is like, it's not just as simple as, oh, don't trust nobody and know what you signing. It's not that simple. A lot of times it's like taking the time to learn, taking the time to actually get around people and learn. And then once you're in the position, once you're in the seat, to actually learn how to execute business. That's the biggest problem, is that a lot of times we don't take the time to learn the business. And that's why there's always an advantage on artists that's coming from poverty, because they just looking for a bunch of zeros next to their name. You know what I'm saying? And it's not enough due diligence on, yo, let me learn what my publishing is. Let me learn what my writer share is versus the producer share. Let me learn what my royalties are. Let me learn what I owe the company. A lot of artists don't know that when they sign publishing deals and it says, oh, you owe us 20 songs, that when you do a song, you only own half of a song. So in order to make 20 songs, you got to really do 40 of them. You feel me?
Right.
Yeah, so it's just so much shit that they don't know.
See what I'm saying? That's something that a lot of people, those little small things make or break everything, because next thing you know, you mad at the publisher, or you thinking that you fulfilled your obligation when you really just didn't understand it. And it's not that you're really wrong, you just didn't have the information. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not that they even did you wrong, because the
Right.
thing is, the
It's
thing
not their
is
fault
like,
that you didn't have the information.
exactly, the thing is that these companies, you're coming in for an opportunity, right? You're coming in for an opportunity, and a lot of times you pursue an opportunity, or you're sitting there and you're saying you want the opportunity, and it's the best day ever when you sign the paperwork, because you worried about the check. You worried about the check so much that you're not learning about what you have to give. Nobody, like, and I'm not pro label. Even though I work at a label, I'm not pro label. I'm also not against label. The thing about it is that if you sign within a system, you need to learn how to work that system works. Because I feel like, yo, if a company makes an investment into you and they ask of certain things for you, and you want money because you're asking certain things, then you got to give up what you asked for. Now, if you
Right.
don't want to give up what you asked for, then don't do shit. Like, don't sign up for it. You feel me? But
Exactly.
if you want to get a deal, or you want to be a part of a company, or you trying to do this, that, and the third, just understand what you're getting yourself into. That's the most important thing.
Word. It's just like the streets. When they tell you, yo, if you're gonna take a package from somebody, don't take all that work if you can't move it, because nigga gonna be on you. The label is the
Absolutely.
same way. You can't
Absolutely.
take a lot of money from the label and think that you just running off on the plug and you good. No, you
Yeah.
gotta bring them their investment back. That's why they invested in you. The
Right.
label, and that's why they look at the numbers, because they're like, all right, boom. Sometimes they do go by. You might have a better talent here, but somebody's doing more numbers. So it's like, nigga,
Yeah.
my man, and both, like, say if I got two of my friends and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, my man, niggas love him on the block, but sometimes everybody, for some reason, niggas don't go to him. But my other man, everybody going to him.
Right.
My one man, he might be mad at me, but I'm giving the most work to the nigga who everybody going to. And it's not, he might be corny. You might say he don't dress flyer than you, he not realer than you, you busting.
Right.
This nigga moving. So
It don't
I
matter, and
gotta go with how my money gonna flip.
that's the thing. You know, the it's the whole thing behind it is just business model. It's like, okay, when you're up become an artist and you're looking for a situation, you got to understand, if you hear somebody say, yo, they just gave that kid $1 million something, that's because they feel like they can make money off of you. And the only way that you're gonna become a good partner and you're gonna be able to do shit is if you learn how to work. That's the thing. It's like, this shit ain't no game. You know what I mean? It's not a game. This is people's livelihoods and careers on the line every day. It's a risk. It's also a risk for the artist. I don't want to make it seem like, the artist is just like this bad person, because a lot of artists, they get raw deals because a lot of them don't take the time to know, or they got the homeboy manager. You know what I mean? Oh, my man is better than everybody, and he might not know how to communicate with the label. He might not know how to be responsible. You got to factor in all of these things as to why a team wins versus why they don't win.
Let's go, man. Y'all good, man? How y'all feeling out there?
Yeah,
Get
this
up
is
in the
what it's about.
comments, man. Talk in the comments. Ask some questions too. If y'all got
Yeah,
some questions, y'all can talk in the comments. Y'all got any kind of questions?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
what it's about.
what's a couple of ways you feel like you've been able to keep reinventing yourself and expanding your resume over the years? Being you've worn so many hats in the game. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people, like, that's like longevity is one of the most important things. You know what I'm saying? And reinvention is the most important things in the game that we're in. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Which is
right,
why
right,
people like LL Cool J last so long, or people like Samuel Jackson, no matter how old he gets, he could keep being in different movies because he knows how to keep, keep it up.
right.
So how do you feel like you've been able to keep, from the time you had the, when you had
Yeah,
the big Rockefeller chain on, and you had
right,
the
right,
pants
right.
on.
I think the biggest thing I've had to learn in my career is adaptation. When I was at, a lot of people give me praises and all of that for Rockefeller, but Rockefeller was just really a learning curve. I didn't make any money at Rockefeller. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't. They was making, and I'm not saying that I should have. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, I should have got this, I should have got that. I feel like, I've always been able to adapt. There was a point in time where I felt like I could not have a career without working with artist A versus artist B. And it started at Rockefeller. When I was working with the Young Guns and Beanie Siegel and State Property, I thought that I wouldn't have a career unless I worked with them. But when things didn't work out with that situation, I moved on. When I got to another situation, and things didn't work out, I've always been able to adapt to my situations. And that's the biggest thing. Like, if you can't adapt, you'll be extinct. And I use that metaphor as like, yo, when you gotta, and I always say you gotta work on your left. You know what I mean? Your left could be anything. Like, for me, I never saw myself as being a media personality, but the reason why I was able to become a media personality is because I never been shy about speaking. And not only that, I'm good at building relationships. So the way I even got on to being on a platform like an Everyday Struggle was because me and Nadeska had a good relationship. From time to time, she interviewed, when I was managing Dave, she interviewed Dave a few times, and that's how we met. And then we always would just speak. We would speak every now and then. And me just following up or just saying, hey, Nadeska, how you doing? What's up with you? Happy birthday, happy Hanukkah, whatever the hell is going on. That put me in a position where when it was my time to shine, she called me and she birthed my career as a media personality. So it's like, you got to be open and receptive to criticism is one. You got to be open to learning new things. And I think that because I'm always open to learning new things, you never know what I'm about to do. Rob Markman said that I'm the king of what is he going to do next.
Right.
It's like, you never know what I'm going to do. So, shit, who knows? I might be acting one day. Like, we never know.
You never know, man. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? That's why I like, I love seeing what you're doing because it's like, me. If anybody know me, you know me. I'm always into this and that and the third
Right,
and trying to
right,
get into my field and this and it's like you tell me all the time. I gotta stay consistent, and this is my time when I'm like, trying to really. I'm relaunching everything. I just relaunched my brand. I relaunched my clothing brand.
right,
I'm relaunching my podcast, which the podcast is really, it's for me, but it's for me to bring light to people about topics that we really don't get to hear much from in the hood, but the
right.
people is from the hood most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So show that we got successful people that's willing to come back and give. They say we don't give back, we gonna give back. And so it's like I don't do this Instagram live. This shit don't pay me when I do it, or we take time and y'all don't pay y'all and y'all take y'all time. But I just be wanting to try to give value to people, being that I'm able to. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
that's
right.
the least I could do. Like I might can't give everybody in the hood money, but I might could give people information that can make them some money. You know what I'm
That's the
saying?
biggest. That's the biggest takeaway. I mean, like it's dope what you're doing with this. It's like, you know, that's why I had started up my platform Free Throws, where I would just bring people on and just let them ask me any question they wanted to ask me, not just about music, but just anything regarding business. And that's put me in a position to speak at colleges. I've been asked to speak at prisons. You know what I'm saying? Like I've spoken at high schools, all type, and I did it for free. You know what I mean? But the thing about it was, like, I was doing it because not only am I trying to give out information, I'm trying to learn as well. You know, I'm not one of those people that feel like because I'm in a certain position that there's nobody I can meet that might know more than me, because, you know, I might be a little bit ahead of them in the game. You know, so I think is the word that I would use for that is just transparency. You know what I'm saying? Like transparency is a big part of building a career. It's transparency, building relationships, following up, you know, being consistent, all of those factors into having a successful career.
It's real shit, man.
Yeah,
It's real.
straight up.
I mean, it's a blessing, though, man. It's good to see you doing it, man, and still doing it, bro. And like you said, man, it's still early in the game. Never know what, like it's so early in the game, man. You
It's
never
early.
know. You never know
Listen,
where you're gonna see it next. You know what I'm saying? And
listen,
that's how I
man. I
feel too, bro. Like sky's the limit. It's like we all got you only go as far as your mind take you. So if you have a
right,
ceiling on your mind, that's as far as you can go. You know what I
right,
mean? It's no ceilings. You know what I'm saying? And the imagination is the most powerful thing that we have that most
right.
people sometimes when you was a kid they used to tell you could be anything you wanted. They wanted you to use your imagination, and then as you got older people started to do things and make you feel like your imagination or you was bugging out by thinking so big. You know what I mean?
Yo, I'm happy you said that, because I feel like adults, like if in order to be an entrepreneur, I feel like to be an entrepreneur and to be a creative with that, you need to just daydream every day. Like I remember when I was a kid in school, I got in trouble for, you know, I finished my work sometimes I didn't finish my work and I just sit in class like this. And
Mm.
when I'm sitting there, it's not that I'm like I don't want to do my schoolwork at all. It's just that I'm thinking about what I see for myself even as a child. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to see things for myself. So it's like you need to, like, to fuel your creativity, you need to imagine, you need to wish, you need to do all of these things. You need to be able to see things that's not in front of your face in order to attain them, because
That's
you
right.
need some sort of bar. Like it was a point in time where like my only goal was to move out the hood, right? It was like, yo, I just want to move out the hood one day. And it was like, okay, once I accomplished that, it was like, okay, once I moved out the hood, how can I give back to my hood? And giving back to the hood is not just throwing a basketball tournament or cookout. We did Everybody Eats, where we fed 100 families in Harlem the first year. Then the
Facts.
second year, we fed 300 families in Harlem. You know,
Facts.
this would have been the third year, but COVID kind of messed that up for us. But my goals, I always set new goals to attain, and I think like that's what keeps me going. I always got to think about, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And I find it. You know what I mean? We in an eat what you kill business, so you got to find
Facts.
things to.
Eat what you kill.
Right. That's a fact.
Or starve.
That's right. That's a fact. That's a fact.
All right, so yo, I want to ask you one more question before you part and drop some little jewels on them before you leave. Before I bring
Hmm.
Lamont on, bring your good brother Lamont in, and
Hmm.
talk about the publishing. But how do you think that the streaming game has changed everything? Like, everybody should say that the '90s, the late '90s, was like the biggest, most money in music, but the streaming has got music on another level. Like, where it's like the physical copy is basically no longer exists.
Right. I think streaming it's had its pros and its cons. I think that streaming opened up the space for more content. You know, when we had physical albums, you had to have a certain type of device to use it, right? You had to have a certain type of device to indulge. And I think that, like, with the streaming game, the part that I don't like is that, you know, everything is like, I don't understand the whole model of 1,500 or 1,250 streams counts as a sale. That's the only thing I don't get, right? But then I do look at the
Me
metrics.
neither.
Yeah, but then I do look at the metrics, and when you equate the metrics to the sell as to how they sell, I kind of get it. But it's like when you see the number, it's a play on the mind because you get a lot of people who get a million streams, and the not saying that a million streams is a bad thing, but that's not a lot of sales. And the reason why they think it's a really, really, really good thing is because the number 1 million to people who come up in poverty has been taught that a million is all you need in life.
A million. That's everybody
You know what I mean?
number.
Like,
Million.
people just all they think about is a million. If I get a million is all they need in life. So I like for me, I like streaming because I do like streaming services. I feel like I like the fact that I don't have to carry all of these different things. Like CDs, man. If you wasn't carrying that book around, you wasn't the man. You feel me?
Where you had that big book, like a photo album.
Right. But now the thing about streaming is, now you just got to be savvy with the playlist. You got to know how to pick them. You know what I'm saying? So I do like streaming, but I do feel like it has taken some aspects away. But you know, the whole thing when it comes to streaming, you have to have an experience, and that's why I love like what Travis Scott has done with his brands and partnerships. Because while
Yo,
you
I just
can't
seen something said he made $100 million this year with his brands and partnerships.
exactly, and the thing is like he streams very well, but like outside of his streaming, he's giving you physical experiences. You can go get the Travis Scott meal. You can wear the Travis Scott sneakers while you got on your Travis Scott hoodie, while you listen to Travis Scott's music while you're on your way to work. So he's figured out a way to give you experiences throughout the day in different areas. Also the
Facts.
PlayStation, like you know what I mean? Like he did a partnership with PlayStation. So it's like it's so many different things that you can get into in the digital era. And I think that like that's why the digital era is so important. But adaptation, man. Adaptation. There's a lot of artists who they only want to be back in the physical disc era, and that's not what it is anymore.
Right. Everything is about evolution. All right, so
Absolutely.
yo, before I bring Lamont on, anything you want to say? I just want to say thank you first and foremost on my behalf, man, for taking
No
time out
problem.
today. I mean, and I just hope everybody got some value out of Wayno coming up here and dropping some information on everybody, man. And anything you want to just say to anybody before you leave, or just to everybody before you leave?
Yes, man. I just want to say, thank you for any and everybody who has watched, the show Everyday Struggle. Y'all know it's coming to an end. I appreciate everybody who's supported me through that because now you've given me a new space to be in, which is media talent. Also, thank you to everybody who supports the artists I work with. Sada Baby, Jet Gang Zay. They come in working on a few new ones. Haas Irv. Thank you to any and everybody who has indulged in try to go offense. You know what I mean? We're gonna start the merch line next year. We got D Munoz, artists that sound epic. We got a lot of new things. Just anybody who supports me, anybody that supports you, appreciate you all. Feel me?
Yo, my brother, have a blessed day. I'm gonna speak to you later. I'm gonna call you after the live is over. All
All right, peace.
right, bro. Thanks. Yeah. About to bring my bro Lamont up here. My bro Lamont, he like the man when it come to working with producers, reading contracts, knowing about publishing, knowing about everything that any producer needs to thrive in the game, and artists too. But he mainly is working with production and producers. So I'm gonna bring my bro up right here. I mean, I hope y'all find the value in this podcast right now. I want to say thank y'all for rocking with me. It's not over. I mean, I'm gonna save this live. It's gonna go up on here, and I'm gonna put it on YouTube. Everything starts today. This is episode 1 of the new season. Me going up all 2021. I'm bringing free value to y'all. Y'all don't gotta worry. I'm gonna bring a whole bunch of different people that worked with all type of people. Y'all not even gonna believe who I'm gonna bring up here. I got some stuff for y'all. I mean, we gonna get y'all mad information that can help y'all thrive in all type of different businesses, trucking, credit. You want to open your own companies, whatever it is. I mean, I'm bringing everybody up here. You know what I'm saying? Facts. So give me 1 second to add Lamont up here.
Yo,
My bro,
what's going on, good brother?
what's good, King? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm blessed, man. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for taking time out of your day, man, to do this for the people, man, for myself.
Hey, bro, always, man. I appreciate you for having me on and giving me the opportunity to drop some some information on everybody on this live. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's right. I can't hear you too good.
Hold on, can you hear me now? Let me turn it up. Hold on, let me see.
Hold on.
What about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah. All right, bet. So we're gonna start this off, man. I just want to let everybody know because everybody don't know what you do, and they see you up here. I want them to know what you do, and what made you want to get into what you do and why you do it.
So basically, a little background. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, cool. A little background about how all this got started is I've always had a real interest in music publishing and pretty much how producers and songwriters get paid from it. The real interest came from the fact that you can create something with your mind and literally put it out there to the world, and then it could be monetized. So, that's where the interest came from, but also just having a general love of music is one of the reasons why, I kind of took this path in terms of the business. But also, what I saw is that there wasn't a lot of information about music publishing out there for producers and songwriters. And also found that a lot of producers and songwriters weren't getting paid. So basically what the Graves firm does is we're a royalty and publishing consultation firm that is dedicated to helping producers and songwriters monetize their publishing, own their publishing, understand the business, be able to kind of make a living with their music, but also really to understand the value of their content and their copyrights. Because what I can tell you guys is a lot of other people in this business understand how valuable your copyrights are, but not enough producers understand that the moment that they create these tracks, they're literally creating something that can set their family up for the rest of their lives. So we're dedicated to educating producers and songwriters on that. But what we also do is we manage catalogs. So, if a producer gets a record on a Hot 100 and they have no idea how to get paid, we'll make sure that everything is in place for them to get paid. And if we have a producer and a songwriter or artist, or let's specifically say a producer that comes on and they come to us and they have all these different placements out there that they've never gotten paid from, we make sure that they get paid and we pretty much monetize the catalog. We find every red cent and we make sure that they're good.
So you see it, we talking to the man right here, right? He said, make sure you can monetize your stuff,
Right.
get all your copyrights, and make sure that even if you didn't know how to get paid, he gonna make sure you get paid.
It's on. So we had a question. Let me answer this question real quick. So somebody said, "Is that the job up to the art?" Honestly, guys, it's going to be up to you. So the thing is that when you come in this business and you're signing contracts and everything like that, you're signing documents that put this responsibility on you. The responsibility of the labels and publishers a lot of times is their job is to pay you, but if you're not doing everything that you're supposed to do per your contract, then you're not always going to get paid. So yes, it is their responsibility to collect money. Yes, if you sign a contract that says that you're supposed to be doing royalty at a certain time of the year, you're supposed to get that. But from that point that you sign that piece of paper and to the point that you get paid, there's so much that happens in between that a lot of producers and songwriters have no clue about that cost them a lot of money in the long run.
That answers your question?
Yes, sir.
So, like, what's the first thing you think a producer should worry about when they want to be in this business before even thinking about getting a lawyer or a manager?
I think that producers should understand the basics of music publishing. And the reason why I'm going to tell you guys this is because this is how you get paid. So let's flip the script a little bit, right? You got an artist that literally takes your beat, right? And they put a song out and it goes viral, right? Now the artist is getting shows. The artist can go on tour. The artist can do all this stuff to make money, right? But what about you? What about how you get paid? You get paid through the publishing industry. So the thing is that, the artist is making all this money, but on the flip side, and this is why you often hear this story over and over and over, the publishing industry is very intricate. So you have to familiarize yourself with the fundamentals of it, just so you have a little bit of a head start, so that when you do get a placement, you understand a little bit about where your money's coming from. And then the next thing you do from there is you go and you get those attorneys and those people that are going to be able to really help you elevate that.
Yeah. So What's some of the biggest misconceptions that you see far as being a known producer or having the most sales means like that you're getting the most money? Is that true? Like if you sell the most, because I know like you
Nope.
said on numerous occasions that you know multi-platinum producers that have gotten robbed and you have people who've made way less sales that have made way more money than those guys.
Oh man, there's so many reasons why. So one of the big misconceptions about this business is that when you get a big placement that you made it. That can't be anything further from the truth. The moment you get that placement is the moment that the work starts. Some people think it's vacation time, but it's actually not. Now it's time for you to get up on game on your business. Now it's time for you to understand more about where your money's coming from because I'll tell you this. You can have the biggest record in the world and it could go #1 on the Hot 100 and you never see a red cent from it other than maybe 10-15% of royalties that are due to you because you signed up with like an ASCAP or BMI. But what you don't know is that there are other companies and societies out there that are responsible for paying you this money. And a lot of producers don't know that. The other thing is that when you get a big record, you're going to have publishers coming to you left and right. And not all deals are created equal. So some producers end up signing bad deals where they take these big advances and you're like, wow, I got $200,000-$300,000, everything is sweet. But then they don't know that they signed a particular deal that they have to hit all these milestones within their careers, right? They got to hit all these milestones in their careers before they see another red cent out of their deal. So it's not uncommon for a producer or a songwriter to be in a situation where they signed a deal 10 years ago and they never see they'll never see a check again, all because of the type of deal that they signed.
Wow.
It happens all the time.
So you got to
So
make
the
sure you
more
keep
educated you
these
are,
people.
the better position you're in.
That's right. So you got to make sure that you educate yourself. And I know you be doing. I know you got right now. You got an upcoming workshop up about teaching producers about doing instrumental albums and stuff like that. So that's one way. That leads up to my next question. Like, in what ways can a producer get paid outside of being on somebody's album, or say if somebody doesn't know how to get in the mix of all this music industry stuff, quote unquote? How can a producer still make money?
Oh man, so I'm all about people. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm all about people owning their careers and just owning their business. Because the thing is that when you're fighting for album placements, you're kind of putting your business in the hands of other people. So one of the smartest things you can do is try to find other ways to license out your music. One of the best ways to license out your music is going to be on an instrumental album. I've seen instrumental albums work as absolute wonders for producers. The first #1 record I saw started out on an instrumental album from a producer. Instrumental albums give you the opportunity to not only build a brand, but they also give you the opportunity to showcase that brand to the world, but put you in position where people come to you. But also, what happens if an artist ends up using one of those instrumentals and it becomes a viral hit, right? Or let's say you end up in a position where some random artist in another country ends up using your instrumental and then they get 100 million views on YouTube. That's free money. That I wouldn't call it free money, but that's money that belongs to you. But it also opens up many doors. And a lot of producers, they're not aware of that. They just think, oh, I'm just putting out a beat tape. But they don't know that every time somebody puts their vocals on that instrumental, it's an opportunity for album placement. It's an opportunity for a stream on Spotify, Apple Music. It's an opportunity for you to put the ball in your court. Another thing that I try to educate producers on is the value of sync licensing and what that is. And basically what sync licensing is you licensing your music for television, film, video games, documentaries, and things like that. And it's honestly, it's a much more proficient way, in my opinion, to do business because you're dealing with big brands and people that have budgets to pay you for your music. So what happens when a big video game company wants to use your music, or let's say you run into a situation where a network wants to use your music, they want to do business the proper way. So what they're going to do is they're going to send you all your terms and everything like that, and they're going to try to get the deal done as fast as possible. And unfortunately, I don't see a lot of producers taking advantage of it because they honestly don't know about it because everybody's worried about the album placements. But there's a huge underbelly of this business that producers aren't aware of because of what we see constantly. We're listening to the radio all day, right? We're on IG scrolling. All we see is plaques. luckily for me, I've been able to see this underbelly of the business that makes an absolute killing that a lot of producers and songwriters aren't privy to. So what we try to do is we try to give out the gems, the information to put you guys in a position where you can use this stuff, because it's not all about the album placements. One of the biggest sync licenses I've seen was a song that didn't chart on the Hot 100. And then some of these other guys I work with, they sold millions of records. And not one of them to this date has gotten a sync license that big as this one particular record. And it didn't even chart on the Hot 100.
You see what I'm saying?
Go on and on and on.
and that's just one story out of probably hundreds that he got. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, y'all make sure y'all go to his page after this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all go to his page. You can go, if you can't remember, you go to my page and look up. I tagged him on the post that's in the background for this. So his @ name is on my page. He has a lot of he got a lot of those webinars and courses and classes coming up in all type of different aspects of the publishing game. So make sure that you go to his page, follow him, to sign up for that course so you can get more privy to what's going on and really understand more about this business. You know what I'm saying? And take your business seriously so you can become the professional that you're looking to become.
Absolutely.
Another question. Do you think that social media is misleading like a lot of aspiring and upcoming producers?
Man, social media,
like when it comes to what success actually is and what it really takes to survive in this game, not just for the moment, you know?
Social media, man, if you use it as a tool for your career, it's a wonderful thing. But if you're on social media and you're looking at what everybody else is doing, I would almost say it's almost like you're poisoning yourself and poisoning your potential, because what a lot of people do on social media is they compare themselves to all the other producers that they see on social media. They compare themselves to other artists. They compare themselves to all these people that aren't really giving you a realistic view of how things happen in this business, especially from a producer perspective, because the moment you get an album placement, guys, it's not a situation where it's like, oh, I made the album. It's a situation where it can take months. It's the situation where you might get notified that you might make the album and then you don't hear back from anybody. So what you're seeing online isn't a true picture of the career of a producer. So my advice to producers and songwriters when it comes to this type of stuff is this: use social media as a form of inspiration and motivation. That's it. Look at it as maybe career, a particular goal that you want to achieve, but never look at social media as a realistic picture of this business, because I can tell you I'm behind the scenes all day and it's not what you guys think it is. It's not the shiny stuff. All that work that goes into getting these album placements, you don't see that. You don't see the paperwork. You don't see a producer getting skated on 1%, on a percentage, and another producer trying to get more. You don't see a song coming out and then all of a sudden the artist says, you know what, I want more than my 40%, even though we all signed the agreement. I want 50%. And now everybody else, their hands are tied trying to figure out, oh, do I give up my percentage to make more money? You don't see that. You just see a plaque, you see some cars, you see all this stuff, but you don't see the real. So, I try to tell people to look at it as a form of, motivation and inspiration, but understand it's not an accurate picture at all of, what it takes to make it in this business. It's not. And some of your favorite producers, they work very, very hard. They work so hard. They're not just sitting up here taking flicks on IG. They're behind the scenes, putting in work all day long.
Right. That's a big fact.
Yep.
And you don't, and nobody sees that. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Nobody sees that.
Somebody asked the question. I want to answer this question. As a producer, is it smart to give away free beats to build buzz? So I got this to say about that. No beat is free if you know the business. And what I mean by that is some of my biggest clients wouldn't be here today if they didn't quote unquote give away free beats. They gave away free beats to some of the biggest artists in the business when they were just getting a buzz. So sometimes you got to think long term and not short term. Unfortunately, sometimes people think short term and they don't think that, all right, me building a relationship with this artist can lead to more things. And they're like, oh, well, you should have paid me $5,000. But you don't know that that artist might have 100,000 organic followers on IG, and their video might get, their streams might hit 5 million. That's a check for you. Now you made more than what they were going to pay you up front. But guess what else you did? You built a relationship with the artist that can literally last for who knows how long. And that's much more valuable, especially when you're not in a position in your career to say, hey, I want this and want that, which is fine. I understand it. But also, you got to think long term about relationships. Relationships are so very important. And I would say most of the guys I work with wouldn't be where they are today if they didn't give away something to build with somebody. And then when that artist got on, guess what happened? Advance check. At that point in time, the artist may not have had the money, but they had the buzz. So when they got the deal, now the label gave them the money to pay you. I can go on and on and on. We'll be on here till like 12 o'clock
hey,
at night.
man, I already know. That's why they got to go sign up for the class, so that way you can break it down to them some more. You know what I mean? You're giving them enough free stuff right now. Yep. But like I said, man, I just hope y'all getting value out this, man. Like, they ain't bringing it to you like I'm bringing it to you. This just episode 1. They ain't bringing it to you live and direct like this. I'm bringing it to you live and direct. I ain't telling you to give me. I ain't trying to sell you nothing. Yet. I ain't trying to sell you nothing. I'm just bringing the people to you that's giving it to you so you can make the money. Hopefully you listening enough that you take all this information or some of it and write down or rewatch this over and over again and get these gems and figure it out, because that's what I'm doing it for. You know what I mean? I'm tired of seeing y'all hurting out here trying to, you know what I mean? And it ain't like y'all crying, but if somebody doesn't know something, I can't expect you to move like somebody who knows it. So I'm trying to give you the information so you can start moving a little bit better in these fields, in these industries, in this lane, in this music business, because it's a very slithery slope if you don't know.
He's right.
You know what I mean? So ending it off, I just want to say, what advice do you have to give to anybody, no matter whether they're a producer, artist, or trying to be an executive that's dreaming and they serious and they putting all of their energy, money, and everything into being into this game? What's the biggest reality check you want to leave them with?
My reality check is that this is a career. If you want a career in this business, you got to treat it like it's a career. It's not a hobby. So oftentimes what I see people treat this as a hobby and then they get frustrated when they don't get results. You got to give 110%, but also you shouldn't just plant unrealistic expectations. Just like in life, where you got to work your behind off to get anything, it's the same thing in the music business, especially as a producer. You know, you don't know what these guys who might be 19 years old and they get their first hit record are doing. You don't know, they might have started making beats at 8, 9 years old. Then boom, they finally get their break at 19 years old. So you got to stop comparing yourself to people, and you got to set realistic expectations, because things don't happen overnight in this business. They don't happen without work. For most people, you know, just because 1.01% might get on because they did something crazy and they made it. What about 99% of everybody else? You got to put the work in. It's not fair. Life isn't fair to anybody. I don't care who you are, what background you have, and it's especially not fair to producers and songwriters, because this business is almost skewed against you. And like I said, you got to treat it like it's a career, because if you don't treat it like it's a career, you're not going to get, you're not going to get the results that you're expecting.
My man.
My brother, appreciate you.
This brother right here, man. This like my partner when I manage producers as well, and if it wasn't for this brother, I would have been lost in the game, because it's a lot of stuff that I don't know still, or I didn't know at the time, but I've learned a lot from, and he agreed to come on board and help me with that part of my business, and he's been nothing short of amazing, man. If I wouldn't. I can't even really speak, because it's like I'm speechless when I talk about him, because he's so humble and he don't have to do the things he does. You know what I'm saying? And he's a really good brother, and I just want to let him know, give him his flowers now in front of all of y'all. I really appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate that, man. And I'm proud of the progress that you made. I remember when you first came to the studio and all that stuff, and we chopped it up, man. And look at where we are now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Definitely, bro. I'm proud of you, man, and proud of this, platform that you're building as well.
Thank you, man. I'm about to get ready to I'm gonna take you off and speak to them real fast, and I'm gonna end it, and I'm gonna hit you up after this is over.
All right, bet. Hit me up.
Thank you, man. Peace.
All right, no problem. All right, guys.
Yeah. So that's what it is, you know what I'm saying? Today, we finished our breakfast today. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was about today. We finished our breakfast, had the good brothers Wayno, had my brother Lamont on. I hope y'all really found some value in this. I'm going to keep coming to y'all with this information. If y'all like it, let me know. Y'all can hit me in a DM. I'm gonna put this up on the YouTube page. I'm gonna save this live, and like I said, hit me with any feedback. Let me know what kind of other businesses or anything that y'all would like to learn about. I'll go and find some people that really are successful at it, and we'll get it rocking. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. I got y'all. It's for us. This platform I'm building is for the people, and it's gonna be dope because, like I said, it's all about a positive mindset. You ain't gonna find nobody on here that's gonna mislead you or try to send you down the wrong road. You know what I'm saying? We all have been down wrong roads. We all have failed, and we gonna fail because you can't win without losing. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with that. Don't be afraid of failing. That's my biggest message. Don't have a fear of failing because in your failure is how you learn to succeed. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say I appreciate all of y'all for watching. And thank y'all so much, man, for tuning in today. And I just holler back at y'all next week or in a couple of days.